let's go over the story coming out of the military and the mainstream media. And be careful what you say to me. Think about me, because you don't quite know me. But I'm going to tell you firsthand that nobody tells me what to say. I set the standard of independence, real truth, and seeking truth. I'm not saying that everything that I'm putting in front of you is factual. Sometimes I'll put things in you because I need to get a reaction. I'll give you things that are questionable and I'll say, what do you think about it? Because we do not know what is right till we experience what is wrong. So part of the experience is a discussion. All of this is part of the very difficult process of finding out the truth. Now let's talk about America, the military, nation status in the flow of history. Because all empires rise and all empires fall. But does that mean the end? No. They just reassemble in a different way somewhere else for the next period of history. So one empire gives way to another. You have a lot of overlap. And sometimes it's not really clear because we don't have all the details as to when that transition period happens. We may be in the midst of one as I speak right now. Question. So the headlines or anything that is written and put out by the media, the press, the TV, the propagandists, which is everything that I'm not, that's what you have to get right. You have to see, okay, this is propaganda. Be careful with that. He's saying, but be careful. Be skeptical with me, but understand that I'm saying that I'm not a propagandist, and I'm being very clear to say who is. A propagandist is somebody that's making money to say the things that they say. They're being given money to say those things. So therefore they say it because there's the promise of the money and there's a continuing paycheck that comes in. I don't do that. If people want to pay me, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. They're going to pay me anyhow. They're going to pay me after the fact. I already decided I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I don't work for anybody. See? There's the thing you got to be clear of. That's how you can tell what's not propaganda. Therefore, we can see what's already wrong with the world. I also read an article, let's go over here, that was on Bloomberg Business Week. And I'm not saying what I think about Bloomberg. It pretty much is in the same category that I said of propaganda, mainstream media. Now, where is it? Here it is. This article is called Another Shooting at Fort Hood, 4 Blunt Points. And that really got my attention. So here's someone's trying to be concise and, make their points. Just hammering in the nail. Paul M. Barrett just released this today. This is a popular photo that's being circulated. The guys at the gate, the little wall there with the sign. So he makes his points. Now, congratulations to whoever this is that wrote it. Not that I agree with everything, but at least this person is using clear logic. They have confidence. I really can't argue with all their points. But as he's saying, it's just a list of 4 things. It really doesn't explain. It's maybe one step along the way to really getting to truth. So I give him that. It is part of the process. So let me move through the process in a similar way and hopefully get along a little bit farther for you people out there, my viewers, everybody. What actually happened? What can we gather from what they're trying to tell us? Because first of all, people don't believe it and really don't think they should believe it. And here's the catch. You don't have to believe that factually this happened. The only thing you need to believe is what you can prove. And what I can prove to you right here, that is the basis for belief and the basis for having to talk this, is that the information is being released. Many people say that this is a war on for your mind, and it's all about information. So there's two sides. Either you're gonna get destroyed by the information, that you're gonna succumb to the evil bad that's within it, or you're gonna rise above it. You're gonna succeed in defeating whatever is destructive in this information, and you're going to be the good, and you will come out of this at the other side to the victory. That's what I'm doing. I'm so confident in it. That's why I'm talking to you right now. Now, here's what they're saying. Here's the information that is definitely coming out, and you take everything with a grain of salt. First of all, they're saying, and it's an Iraqi veteran. Okay? So right there, that doesn't make military look very good. That doesn't make the whole neocon thing look good, that they attacked Iraq. That doesn't make that. What is it going to do to everyone's view of Iraq, to whoever comes across this information? And this is being pushed upon anyone who has open ears. They want to hear the media, they want to get the propaganda, hopefully not to be brainwashed, but they want to get it and question it and seek truth, as I keep reminding you. This means we're going to start to test out our views or change our views about this war that they started under Daddy Bush, the first President Bush, and continued under the second President Bush. Oh, isn't that so interesting? What a wonderful pseudo-royal family that was all pretty much the same as the English, British royal crown. La-di-da. So they got us, they didn't get us, they got their U.S. military into the Iraq war or conflict, whatever you want to call it. Because supposedly the war won. The war was completed as a victory when Bush sailed in there. He was on, what was it, the aircraft carrier, and he said, "We have victory," and he gave us Heil Hitler. Yeah, boy, it's in your little wars, isn't it? Now, we're looking at Iraq now, and if a veteran has this many problems, you got to question things now. So we're taking some of the slack off of somewhere, aren't we? Because there's been a lot of criticism about the way they're treated. Look, even on Drudge Report, and they were putting this out like more than a couple weeks. And by the way, what do I think of Drudge Report? Yeah, well, maybe controlled opposition, maybe kind of an insider, kind of like a college kind of thing, intellectual, pseudo-intellectual thinking. Alright, yeah, I know you don't like to hear about that. But the headlines there were that the stats of 22 veterans committing suicide every day. That's the average stats, and seems kind of high, doesn't it? Seems extremely high. I would gander to, describe that. Extremely high. Count that up for the month. You know how to do some quick math? That's 660 per month. That's what that is. So how much is that per year? Well, do the math. Okay, we're doing the math. Is anybody with me? That's around 7,000. Is anybody, making the calculations? Get your calculator out. You got to depend on the machine. Listen, 7,000 veterans on average, if the rates are consistent. And I don't know that. Because they're just out of the thin air. He's making this headline, or they are all making this headline, that there's 22 average per day. How long, we don't know. But if it was consistent across the board for the last year or for the coming year, we're going to have 7,000 per annum. That's a lot. That's seriously a lot. What is that? Is that a battalion? How many? How many are in there? How many's in a troop? You get captains over how many? Look, if you're in the military, you should know about this kind of thing. I'm not gonna impress you with how much I know, but what I do know is that 7,000 is a number that's way too high. So what are they doing here with this story? Because here's another veteran that has committed suicide, but he's done it after he committed these violent acts. And they're giving you the number of 3 others killed. Alright? Not only that, they're saying this took place at Fort Hood, whereas it is the same place. They're saying that this happened, 5 years ago, or almost 5 years ago at Fort Hood? Now, Fort Hood, interestingly enough, is north of Austin, Texas. That's the capital. Interestingly enough, it is near Waco, and Waco, Texas, is where they had the Branch Davidians, and they made siege on there. And it's a very interesting place, that region, because it seems to have all this, seems to be very evil presence going on there. And I will spell that out for you. Seems to be evil going on in that area of Texas. I'm not talking about all of Texas, but the Texans are very defensive. Why don't you stop being defensive and root out what's going on there first before you talk? If you're there, you're responsible. I'm not there. Not as of yet. Okay? JFK was there, and you see what happened in JFK. So this is a very interesting thing. And I have mentioned to you already that this quasi-pseudo scumbag family of the Bushes, and I don't know if you're fans of the Bushes, but you ought to have your head checked. No, it's even worse than that. There's no hope for you. But the Bushes are deeply rooted. In fact, they are the system of the evil that's there. Hello? Wake-up call. So is Alex Jones anything to mitigate this or solve this, or is actually Alex Jones a shill that's a part of the problem, the evilness? Well, he claims that he's for God, and I'm not sure what God he's with, but I would only know that by discussing further, because he puts out a lot of information, and I have seen people nitpick it and focus on something that seems to be out of context and say that that's what he's all about. Now, I don't believe these haters, these trolls that are going against Alex Jones who claim he's a shill, but I'm also saying that with it because I'm not sure, and I would have to have my own discussion with this person, because there's a lot of suspicious circumstances there, and he seems to have an awful lot of money and power for what he does. And a lot of us that are in the movement of truth, the movement of finding out true facts, that are patriots, a lot of us, did I say us? Did I include myself in? God forbid if I have to succumb to belong to a group that I'm not the leader of. I would never do that. So let's talk again about the military. Talking about senseless drones here. But every nation does need one. And this is indicative of problems. They're talking about the shooter was on medication. The shooter was undergoing treatment. A psychiatrist examined this person last month, and the diagnosis or the commentary and the records show that there is no sign of likely violence either to himself or to others. And further, they quote, no suicidal ideation. Whoa, they use the fancy word, ideation. Alright, we're going to have to cut this short. I think I've said enough. I could go in for another couple hours here, but if there's enough feedback, I'll do more. Everybody's welcome to comment.